Audie Murphy, the most decorated man of World War II, who went on to become a movie star, was found dead this afternoon in the wreckage of a light plane in the hills of Virginia.
Audie Murphy's tragic death marked the loss of a true American hero. For over 54 years, his grave remains as a place of honor and remembrance, drawing countless visitors who pay their respects to the most decorated U.S. soldier of World War II. But when workers recently opened the tomb for maintenance, what they discovered sent shockwaves through the world and soon made headlines for a truly unexpected reason. Humble beginnings in Texas. Audie Leon Murphy was born on June 20, 1925 in Kingston, Texas. His parents, Emmett and Josie Murphy, were hardworking but poor sharecroppers. They lived through the harsh grip of the Great Depression. Audie was one of 12 children, crammed into a small wooden house with barely enough food to survive. His father, Emmett, often vanished for long stretches, leaving Josie alone to hold the family together. It was a life built on struggle and sacrifice. Even as a child, Audie showed grit beyond his years. He dropped out of school by the 5th grade and worked in the fields, picking cotton to help put food on the table. Despite the hardship, no one could have predicted what fate had planned for that skinny, blue-eyed farm boy. When World War II erupted, Audie was just a teenager, but war had a way of turning boys into men overnight. He watched his world crumble under poverty, then watched headlines as thousands of young men marched off to battle. Audie wanted to join them. He wanted to fight for something bigger than himself, to escape the hopelessness of rural Texas. But there was one problem: he was too young to enlist. That didn't stop him. Audie lied about his age and changed documents to join the U.S. Army. At just 17, weighing barely 110 pounds, most recruiters laughed him off. But after relentless attempts, he was finally accepted into the military. What came next would turn him into a national hero and one of the most decorated soldiers in American history. He wasn't the biggest or strongest soldier, but he had something few others possessed: a fearless determination to protect his fellow troops, no matter the odds. His defining moment came in January 1945, during the brutal battles of France. His unit was ambushed by German forces. With enemy soldiers closing in, Audie did the unthinkable. He climbed onto a burning tank destroyer, completely exposed to machine gun fire and artillery shells. Using the vehicle's mounted machine gun, he held off more than 200 German soldiers for over an hour, completely alone. His boots sank into the snow. Flames roared beside him, but Audie refused to fall. By the end of World War II, Audie Murphy had earned 33 medals for bravery, including the Medal of Honor, the highest military award in the United States. He was only 19 years old. His face appeared on magazine covers. Hollywood came calling. America praised him as a symbol of heroism, but the headlines never showed the scars he carried, the silent wounds that fame and medals couldn't heal, and those scars would haunt him long after the war was over. When Audie Murphy returned home from the battlefield, America saw him as an unstoppable war hero. His story of bravery made him the most decorated soldier in U.S. history. Hollywood producers lined up, offering movie deals and fame. But the Audie Murphy the world saw wasn't the same man who walked off those battlefields in Europe. Inside, Murphy was broken in ways no one could understand. He had survived some of the deadliest battles of World War II. He had watched his closest friends fall beside him, and though his body made it home, his mind was trapped in the chaos of war. Hollywood wasted no time capitalizing on his fame. Murphy was offered acting roles almost immediately. With his rugged looks and real-life hero status, he became an instant movie star. Over the years, he appeared in more than 40 films, mostly westerns and war dramas. One of his biggest hits was To Hell and Back, a movie based on his own life story. Incredibly, Murphy played himself. The movie shattered box office records and turned him into a national icon. Despite his rising fame, Murphy lived with the constant torment of survivor's guilt. He rarely spoke publicly about the horrors he witnessed during the war, but those close to him knew he carried that pain every day. Friends recalled how he struggled with anger and paranoia. His marriages suffered. His finances were unstable. The world saw a war hero, but inside, Murphy was still fighting for peace. Then, tragedy struck. On May 28, 1971, Murphy boarded a private plane in heavy fog. He was only 45 years old. Somewhere over Virginia, the aircraft lost control and slammed into the side of Brush Mountain. Everyone on board was killed instantly. Authorities blamed the crash on poor visibility and dangerous weather, but whispers of conspiracy swirled almost immediately. Some believed Murphy's death wasn't an accident. His military records contained information about secret missions and classified operations. Parts of his service files remain sealed to this day. Theories suggested he knew things others wanted buried forever. His burial at Arlington National Cemetery was meant to be the closing chapter of his extraordinary life, but what lay hidden beneath his tombstone would keep his story alive and fuel questions for decades to come. Audie Murphy's grave is one of the most visited sites in Arlington National Cemetery. Thousands visit every year to pay their respects to the boy from Texas who became a war legend. His grave is simple, marked with his name, his service record, and his medals. But those who stand there feel something more. It's not just a headstone, it's a symbol of courage and mystery. Over the decades, stories have swirled around Murphy's final resting place. Tourists, cemetery staff, and even veterans have claimed odd things happen there. Coins and medals left at the grave sometimes vanish without explanation. Flowers appear overnight when no visitors were seen nearby. Some have described a strange energy around the site, a feeling that someone is watching. But the real whispers started years ago, surrounding what may have been buried with Murphy. Soldiers who served alongside him believed personal artifacts had been placed in his grave during the funeral. Some spoke of military patches. Others claimed handwritten letters or relics from classified missions went into the ground with him. Those rumors only fueled the mystery because Murphy wasn't just a soldier, he was a symbol, and symbols often carry secrets. For over 5 decades, his tomb remained sealed. Visitors came and went, but the earth beneath his grave stayed untouched. Until now. In early 2025, Arlington officials quietly announced a restoration project. Murphy's site was scheduled for maintenance, part of a larger effort to preserve Arlington's history. But word spread fast, and not everyone believed this was just routine work. His grave hadn't been opened since 1971. Why now? The operation was heavily guarded, with no cameras allowed and zero public access. Officials called it standard procedure, but behind closed doors, the rumors grew louder. Insiders began leaking details, whispers of unexpected discoveries beneath the grave, items that weren't listed in the official burial records. Whatever was uncovered during that restoration sent shockwaves through military circles and across the world. And the truth was about to surface. The restoration team moved carefully, layer by layer. Every inch of soil was removed with precision. The ground beneath Murphy's tomb was stable, but workers were instructed to go deeper, to check for erosion or hidden structural damage that could threaten the site. No one expected what they would uncover. A few feet below the surface, buried deeper than standard protocol allowed, the team struck something solid. It wasn't part of the grave's foundation. At first glance, it looked like an old, weathered metal container, sealed tight, its edges corroded from time but still holding strong. The workers called over their supervisors. Military officials closed in, their expressions shifting from calm to tense. This wasn't supposed to be here. The container didn't match any known equipment or burial artifacts. It was personal, deliberately hidden beneath the soil. When the container's lid creaked open, the contents stunned everyone present. Inside was a carefully preserved set of personal items. First, a faded military patch, the symbol of Murphy's combat division. But the item that sent chills through the group was a handwritten letter. The letter wasn't addressed to his family. It wasn't a formal military document. It was something far more personal, a private message, sealed away with him, hidden from the world for 54 years. Military officials acted fast. The items were secured, locked away under tight protection, but news of the discovery leaked within hours, and questions exploded. What secrets had Murphy buried? Why were these items hidden? And most importantly, what was America's greatest soldier trying to tell the world from beyond the grave? And that revelation was only the beginning. The mystery beneath Arlington. Buried within the letter were cryptic lines hinting at covert missions, classified operations never acknowledged in public records. Murphy described orders he carried out that were so secret they vanished from official history. He spoke of assignments where failure meant disappearing completely, and success was rewarded with silence. For decades, rumors had swirled that Murphy's military career wasn't just filled with battlefield heroics, but with darker, undisclosed operations. Officials secured the artifacts, refusing to release the full contents of the letter. Historians demanded answers. Veterans shared whispers of secret missions they were ordered never to discuss. Even Murphy's family, caught off guard by the discovery, pleaded for the truth. But Arlington's sacred grounds weren't finished revealing their secrets, because what lay buried with Audie Murphy was only the beginning of a legacy far more complicated than medals and movie roles, and the real shock was yet to come. The hidden letter buried with Audie Murphy wasn't just a farewell, it was a final warning. In the letter, Murphy expressed deep fear for America's future. He wrote that bravery alone wasn't enough to protect a country. His words felt familiar to modern ears, like they were written for today rather than over 50 years ago. He warned that a nation could crumble not from outside enemies, but from forgetting the scars carried by its own heroes. Found alongside the letter was an aged, tarnished decoration unlike anything in Murphy's official military file. The symbol etched into the surface didn't belong to any known American or foreign honor. Some speculated it came from a hidden covert unit, and its existence was denied even within military ranks. The possibility that Murphy had been involved in secret, off-the-record operations sent conspiracy theories spiraling. Some believed he carried knowledge so dangerous it made him a target. Others thought the hidden items were proof that parts of his legacy had been covered up, buried with him to protect powerful secrets. And now, with the discovery exposed, new questions were rising, questions that could no longer stay buried. The moment the hidden letter and strange artifacts from Audie Murphy's grave surfaced, the world couldn't stop asking one question. Was his death truly an accident, or was there more buried beneath the surface than anyone realized? For over 5 decades, the official story never changed. On May 28, 1971, Murphy boarded a private plane headed through Virginia. The weather turned against them, and the plane crashed into the side of the mountain, killing everyone on board. Authorities blamed mechanical failure, and the case was closed. But now, with the discovery of Murphy's hidden letter, those doubts came roaring back. Suddenly, the details of his death didn't seem so clear. Survivors and locals near the crash site recalled odd inconsistencies. Radio contact was lost without explanation. Flight plans appeared incomplete. Some pieces of the aircraft were recovered miles away from the official crash zone. But for years, people accepted it as a tragic accident. A war hero lost too soon. Conspiracy theories spread fast. Some claimed Murphy's outspokenness about veteran trauma and mental health made him a target. Others believed the covert operations he hinted at were tied to Cold War missions so secret, revealing them would shake the nation. But one thing was undeniable. The heroic version of Audie Murphy's story was replaced with a legacy full of hidden messages and unanswered questions. A legacy left behind for generations. Audie Murphy's life was never simple, and now, after 54 years, the discovery beneath his grave shattered the image. He wasn't just a war hero, he was a man burdened by scars, secrets, and sacrifices that ran deeper than anyone imagined. The strange artifacts, the cryptic metal, and the references to classified missions opens the door to unsolved questions. Was his death truly an accident? Or had Audie Murphy carried knowledge so dangerous it followed him to the grave? The silence from military officials only makes the mystery harder to ignore. And now, the world has to decide, do we bury those truths again, or finally listen to what Audie Murphy tried to tell us all along? Because some messages are too powerful to stay hidden forever. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for further updates, and click the next video on screen now for another interesting story.